name's John Kovac. I graduated from Miami University in Oxford, Ohio with a degree in theater, and this is how I graduated with no loans. So I grew up in a very middle-class family, and I know that my parents were very encouraging to go to college, but it wasn't something that they could fund themselves for all of their kids. It's a relatively big family. I've got 3 siblings. So it was something that I knew if I wanted to do myself, that I would have to fund myself, and they were very encouraging and pointing me in the right direction, but never pushing me through the door. And when I was 14, I got a job as a golf caddy at a really great golf course. So then as I was working a lot, my dad actually approached me with the idea of the Evans Scholarship. I had to get all sorts of transcripts and stuff together, had to make sure I kept my grades up through high school. And I got letters of recommendation from tons of people at the golf course. And I didn't get the scholarship. I put all my eggs in one basket, and that's what I was going for, and I didn't get it. So I didn't really know what to do after that. I took maybe a week or so and just tried to figure out what's my next step. And because I knew I wanted the Evans Scholarship and I knew I wanted to go to Miami under that scholarship, I didn't really look anywhere else. So I ended up at Miami anyway. That's when I started thinking, okay, you know, what's it gonna cost me to go up to Miami University and get an apartment? And I just looked at all the numbers and how much it was gonna cost, and I was going, gosh, maybe I can make it through a semester? You know, I knew I wasn't gonna make it very far. That's when I started looking up some alternative routes, and when I found out that Miami University has branch campuses. And I looked into that and I found out that the tuition was significantly cheaper. So I could commute to the branch campus and save probably a quarter of the tuition rate, knowing that in the end I'm gonna get the same degree. Going into college, I didn't know what I wanted to study. So my first year was spent at Miami Hamilton just taking my gen eds. That's when I found out that there's only so many courses offered at the branch campus. They do that so that you go up to the main campus and then you're paying full tuition there. But I found out that you could take half of your classes at the branch campus and half of your classes at the main campus and still pay the branch campus tuition. So when I realized, oh shoot, I've got to get these other credits, I still did additional credits at the branch campus to be able to pay that lower rate. Yeah, when I started out, I was still working full time. It was as I started splitting up all my driving between the main campuses and the off campuses that it turned out I got less and less hours. And I started thinking, gosh, I've got to really control my spending outside of college at this point. You know, I can't be eating out all the time. I can't be going to the movies all the time. So constantly was reevaluating where my money was going and you know how I was putting it in certain places. And then I'm in my last year and I'm looking at it and I go, okay, great. I can pay for two more semesters of off-campus tuition. And I sit down with my academic advisor and she goes, you know, John, yeah, you can pay for that, but you're not getting the credits that you need in order to graduate. So you're gonna have to do another year. And I go home that night and I think, oh, I can graduate early. I can go ahead and take extra credits, get it done in a semester, and just pay the main tuition for one semester. So that's what I did. I called Julia, my advisor right there, and she was great, and she worked with me and helped make it happen and organize it for me. I knew I had to line up a job right out of college, which I was fortunate enough to do. Now I live really close to New York City. I own a small production company. It's called Unity Productions. The strategy that I put forth through college has set me up to be able to live in New York. If I was paying loans right now, I wouldn't be able to live here. A main piece of advice that I'd give to people approaching into college is not to put all your eggs in one basket. You know, I had tunnel vision on just that one scholarship, and I wish I had looked around because after missing that opportunity, I found a bunch of opportunities that could have worked for people with my skill set and my interests and things like that. A second piece of advice would be to live within your means. Make sure you control your spending and know where to put it. My third piece of advice would be to be open to change. Had I not sat down with my advisor and said, hey, this is my plan, and then being open and fluid to changing directions completely, then who knows where I'd be right now, you know? Maybe I wouldn't have graduated because I couldn't have afforded it, or I guess I would have had to take out a loan, a big loan at that point. My name's John Kovac. I graduated from Miami University with a degree in theater, and this is how I did it without any student loans.